What if I told you that one of America's most admired companies, praised for its innovation and loved by Wall Street, was actually built on lies? A company so successful it convinced the world that profit could be created out of thin air, until one day it vanished. Billions lost, thousands unemployed, and a single question echoing through history. How can a lie become a business model? This is the story of Enron, the corporation that fooled the world and paid the ultimate price. It all begins in 1985. Two companies, Houston Natural Gas and Internorth, merged to form a new energy giant. The man at the helm is Kenneth Lay, an ambitious economist who saw opportunity in a changing America. At that time, the U.S. government was deregulating the energy industry, allowing private companies to buy and sell natural gas freely. Lay realized the future of energy wasn't in pipelines, but in trading, and so Enron was born not just as an energy company, but as an energy market. The early years were modest, but then came the man who would redefine its destiny. Jeffrey Skilling. Jeff Skilling was a Harvard MBA, brilliant and ruthless. When he joined Enron, he had one radical idea. What if energy could be traded like stocks? He pushed Enron to move from selling gas to selling contracts for gas futures, derivatives, and complex financial instruments. It was a revolutionary concept. Under Skilling's vision, Enron became a market maker, profiting from the spread, making billions in trading commissions. This shift transformed Enron from a boring pipeline operator into one of the most exciting companies in America. Investors loved it. The media adored it. Fortune magazine called Enron America's most innovative company 6 years in a row. But behind the curtain, something darker was taking shape. Inside Enron's glass towers in Houston, a new culture was being born, one fueled by ego, ambition, and money. The motto was simple: make money. Don't ask how. Employees were ranked every 6 months. The top performers got huge bonuses. The bottom 15% were fired. It was survival of the fittest capitalism distilled to its purest, most brutal form. This system created immense pressure to deliver impossible results. And when real profits didn't come, creative accounting filled the gap. That's when Enron adopted a dangerous accounting method: mark-to-market accounting. Here's how the magic trick worked. Under normal accounting, you record profit when a project actually earns money. But under mark-to-market, Enron could book future profits. Asterisk. Today. Asterisk. Imagine signing a 10-year deal, expected to make $100 million in total profit. Instead of waiting, Enron would record the entire $100 million as income immediately. On paper, Enron was exploding with growth. In reality, those profits were imaginary. To make the illusion even bigger, Enron created hundreds of secret partnerships, called special purpose entities, to hide debt and losses off the company's balance sheet. If a project started losing money, Enron simply moved it into one of these shadow companies. Losses disappeared. Earnings stayed high. The stock price soared. It was accounting alchemy turning losses into assets. But Enron didn't do this alone. Their auditor, Arthur Andersen, one of the world's biggest accounting firms, was supposed to ensure honesty. Instead, they became Enron's enabler. Andersen earned millions in consulting fees from Enron FAR. More than Fora didn't, creating a massive conflict of interest. If Andersen questioned Enron's numbers, they risked losing that lucrative business. So they looked the other way. Documents were shredded. Red flags were ignored. Enron had built a house of cards, and no one wanted to be the one to blow it down. By 1999, Enron's stock was worth over $90 a share. Its market value surpassed $70 billion, making it the 7th largest company in America. Executors like Kenneth Lay and Jeffrey Skilling were hailed as visionaries. They expanded into broadband, water trading, even weather derivatives. To Wall Street, Enron could do no wrong. Inside the company, employees invested their retirement savings into Enron stock, believing in the dream. But beneath the glitter, cracks were forming. The company wasn't generating real cash. Its ventures were failing. Its debts were mounting. And yet, every quarter, Enron reported record profits. How? Because those numbers were lies. In early 2001, Jeffrey Skilling became CEO. Confident and arrogant, he was utterly convinced of his own brilliance. But only 6 months later, in August 2001, he suddenly resigned, citing personal matters. The truth. He saw the storm coming. Within weeks, Enron's financial problems began to leak. An internal memo from Vice President Sharon Watkins warned Kenneth Lay, Enron may implode in a wave of accounting scandals, but Lay ignored it. He reassured employees that Enron was stronger than ever, even as he quietly sold millions of dollars worth of his own stock. By October, the company reported its first quarterly loss in years. $680 million gone. Then, the real bombshell dropped. Enron revealed it had overstated its profits by nearly $600 million. The illusion was collapsing. Investors panicked. Enron's stock plummeted from $90 to under $1 in just weeks. On December 2, 2001, Enron filed for bankruptcy, the largest in U.S. history at the time. Thousands of employees lost their jobs and their life savings as retirement accounts tied to Enron stock were wiped out. But the executives, many had already cashed out. Kenneth Lay, Jeffrey Skilling, and CFO Andy Fastow faced federal charges of fraud, conspiracy, and insider trading. Arthur Andersen, too, was charged with obstruction of justice for shredding documents. A titan of accounting, destroyed by the company it failed to audit honestly. The shockwaves were enormous. Enron's collapse didn't just destroy a company, it shattered faith in corporate America. In 2002, the U.S. government responded with the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, a sweeping reform designed to strengthen corporate transparency. It required CEOs and CFOs to personally certify financial reports and increase penalties for fraud. The era of trust me accounting was over. Or was it? 2 decades later, the ghosts of Enron still haunt us. Despite new laws, the same dangerous incentives remain. Pressure for constant growth, complex financial products few understand, and conflicts between profit and ethics. We see echoes of Enron everywhere. Tech startups valued in the billions before making a cent. Crypto exchanges collapsing under opaque accounting. Executives rewarded for hype over results. The tools have changed, but the story hasn't. Enron wasn't an anomaly. It was a warning. Consider Theranos, the biotech company that faked a revolution in blood testing. Or FTX, the crypto exchange that imploded after hiding billions in losses. They all followed Enron's playbook. Promise impossible innovation, attract huge investment, and hide the truth. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, and Enron's rhyme is getting louder. It's easy to think of Enron as just a financial story, but at its heart, it's a human tragedy. Employees who believed in the company lost everything. Investors who trusted the system were betrayed. At the same time, the executives who orchestrated the fraud lived in luxury. When the walls fell, justice came slowly. Kenneth Lay was convicted but died before sentencing. Jeffrey Skilling served over 12 years in prison. Andy Fastow served 6, but no amount of punishment could repair the damage. Enron's name became a curse, a reminder that unchecked ambition can destroy even the mightiest empire. So, what are the key takeaways? First, growth without transparency is just a mirage. Impressive numbers mean nothing if they aren't grounded in truth. Second, complexity can be a weapon. If a company's business model is too hard to explain, that's often a red flag. And third, culture determines destiny. Enron's downfall wasn't just accounting fraud, it was cultural rot. A company that punishes honesty is doomed to collapse. Enron is gone, but the lesson remains. When lies become profitable, truth becomes expensive. In every boom in every new industry, there's the temptation to fake it until you make it. But as Enron proved, when the lies become the business model, collapse isn't a question of if, it's only a question of when. So, whether you're an investor, an entrepreneur, or just watching from the sidelines, always ask, where's the real value? What's being hidden? And who benefits if the illusion continues? Because history doesn't forgive those who refuse to learn from it. If you found this story revealing, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another untold story of power, greed, and deception. Until next time, remember, the greatest business scandals don't begin with crime. They begin with ambition.